Ask the Messengers, the program that deals with substance abuse, real people telling real stories. Hosted by Pastor Lester Lewis, co-host Charlize Wilkerson and Leroy Carey. Where there is addiction, there is a chance for recovery. We're trying to help save lives on Ask the Messengers.
Recovery is possible. Some people can do it on their own. Some people use a 12-step program. Many use help of a treatment center. Today on Ask the Messengers, we bring you more resources that are available for anyone seeking help with their addictions. Beginning New is a resource with several locations throughout Wayne County. Rite Structured Recovery Corp offers a wealth of resources throughout Macomb County. No matter the distance between these two organizations, they are fighting for the same cause, helping save lives. On this episode, you will also hear from participants of these programs as they share how they have used these programs to help them get their lives back on track. Let's begin with our host Lester Lewis as he sits down with Raymond Willis, founder of Beginning New.
Mr. Willis, this program that you have here called Beginning New, can you tell us all about it and how did it start and what's the purpose of it all?
Well, we thank you for this opportunity to be informative about our program. And Beginning New is very unique because I started back in 1994. We've been around for a very, very long time. And we're kind of off of the old block, you know. So I went to Mariners Inn in 1992. Okay. I'm a recovering crack addict, heroin addict, and I'm a recovering alcoholic.
So you got some personal investment in
personal, unfortunately, very personal, okay. And very, very bad. But you know, recovery has shown me that there is life after drugs and alcohol, and certainly because of my experiences at Mariners Inn, I did 3 months at Mariners Inn, and then I immediately went into a 3-quarter home, which was called Harper House. Now, you notice I said 3-quarter home. Nowadays, we're using the terminology of transitional housing. It's still basically transitional housing, but 3-quarter living was more structured. It was more do this, don't do that. Nowadays, because of the competition, a lot of the homes, it has opened this up to be more of an investment as opposed to investing in people's lives.
Right, and I was going to say that hurts the process, doesn't it?
Yes, very much so. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of going against the norm for us as an agency. Believe it or not, we don't even do marketing. We really operate on word of mouth. Our program has been so successful until just the fact that we've helped some of the people that we have helped has gotten the word out. Now, we have gotten clients as far away as Texas. A rapper heard about us in Texas. He flew 5 people to Detroit.
Is that right?
To be in our program.
Wow.
And we helped them. They was here for maybe about 5 months. We were able to help back when George Bush was in office. Someone from the State Department that was working with Condoleezza Rice, she sent her son here. We don't even know how she found out about us, but they sent them here to receive help that we could exclusively give to them. What makes us unique is the personal relationship that we have with our clients. We are endeavoring to help them to sharpen up on their domestic skills as well as to get reacclimated into society. One of the things that really helps our program is my personal experience living in a controlled environment. I'm a first-time recovery person. I've never been in recovery before until I went into Mariners Inn. And based on what I learned, I'm able to give back to others because I've lived it. Now, I came to, as I mentioned to you, to Mariners Inn in 1992. I know that relapse is a part of recovery, but I'm here to tell you that you don't necessarily have to relapse if you take the suggestions and if you get into a program that's committed to helping you as opposed to just looking at it from a dollars and cents.
Right. You mentioned investing in people.
Right.
Can you go into a little more detail as to how you here at Beginning New, how you invest in people? What things do you do?
Well, technically what we do is the monies that we receive from our clients, we bring it right back to them. So we're giving them master's level treatment. We have a therapist on staff, Mr. Burkerson, master's level therapist. We provide transportation to and from the groups. As a matter of fact, I drive the van. I'm very involved in all aspects of our program, from the upkeep of the homes to helping out with the treatment component, to helping them with case management. One of the things that I noticed when I was living in a 3-quarter home was that case management was something that a lot of the guys needed. Okay. There's a lot of things that's going on that when you're using, you don't know about these things. So to have case management and to have a therapist are things that are vitally important to helping to stabilize us as we embark upon our road of recovery.
In this program, you've had success stories. Can you tell us about one that sticks out to you?
Yeah, we had a doctor who came to us, and it was kind of difficult at first because of how educated he was. Okay. But he finally saw just how serious we were about helping him. He dropped down his guards. He acquired sobriety. And one day I was driving down the street and my phone rang and I didn't recognize the number. And you know what? It was him. And he called me Mr. Willis. He said, Mr. Willis, thank you. Thank you for giving me my life back. And when I hung the phone up, tears literally just rolled down my face of joy because this works. Recovery works. Beginning new works.
So, Mr. Willis, how would an individual connect with you and get involved in the program here at Beginning New?
We're just a phone call away. If they call us, we'll immediately come out and talk with them and to give them an update about what we have to offer them and to show them that there is life after drugs.
Okay, and you have multiple sites throughout the county, which makes it very convenient. And any individual who is in need, and even a family member, a friend, what if they needed information? Can they as well give you a call?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you tell everyone the number and how to get in touch with you?
The number is 313-748-8808.
All right. Mr. Willis, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of the busy schedule and helping people to get to recovery and sitting down and talking with Ask the Messengers and sharing this great program that you have. But thank you for utilizing your recovery to help others to recover. And again, the city, the state, the county, all that is better as a result of what you're doing. And again, to all of our viewers, thank you for tuning in to Ask the Messengers. As always, we want to bring you the very best as it relates to resources and places where you can actually go, where people are not seen as just dollar signs, but they are seen as people who want to get to the place of recovery and others want to help.
I started drinking when I first got my divorce from my first wife. I never have touched alcohol before, but I had to have something to get her and my kids off my mind. I was clean for 22 years, and my clean date right now is about 5 months. I maxed out of prison back in 2014, and MDOC brought me over to the Beginning New. That's how I found out about the program. It helped me tremendously. It stopped me from drinking. I don't drink, except for about 5 months ago, but it's helped me tremendously. I'm a manager of a house, and I take care of 3 other guys and make sure that they take their meds and they don't drink, and I get along with the guys that I live with, and, you know, I just don't touch alcohol no more.
With this opportunity to give somebody some hope, if you're a person that's thinking about using drugs for the first time, I would say reflect back on anybody that has encouraged you not to do it, because it's a destructive choice that you're gonna make. And for people that's probably using drugs, experiment with drugs, it might seem like it's fun. Peer pressure tell you that it's fun. Come on, let's do it. But if you look at me and hear my story of going to prison, being out on the streets and ending up in a transitional housing program, it's not the way to go.
My drug of choice was mostly prescription pain pills. I had appendicitis one evening, and I went to the hospital and they found a mass during a CAT scan, and the mass they thought was cancerous. And so after appendicitis surgery, I ended up with back surgery and had to remove my uterus, so I had a hysterectomy. And from there, it was just 5 years of different opiates being prescribed to me by doctors through different surgeries. I was able to get them through that period of time through doctors. You know, at one point they did end it after a year of 120 pills a month for a year. And at that end of that year, I got a letter in the mail saying, "You're not going to get this anymore." So, you know, my blaming the doctors at this point isn't going to do me any good, but I do work towards getting doctors to understand tapering and how to help somebody that is in active addiction instead of just cutting them off, because we know where that leads. I don't know if you knew my story, but it went across all the news channels. And I was an assistant principal for 24 years in the Troy School District, and went into a home that wasn't my own and looking for prescription drugs because I had run out and there was nothing. I didn't want to go through withdrawals, and I didn't want to, you know, go back to another doctor. So I thought that'd be the easiest way. And unfortunately, they had cameras in their home, or fortunately, because it led me to get help. And I was arrested, lost my job, had to sell my house, went to treatment out in California for 30 days, came back and started to rebuild my life. And so the last 2 years, that's what I've been doing. Started in March of 2018, this was my first rehab. And then you know, worked at an animal shelter for $9.50 an hour, and then worked my way all the way up to where I'm at now. Right now I have probation, so that's the accountability issue. But if we had to remove that, I don't want to go back to that chaos that was in my life, that all I could think about was how I was going to get my next drug. And I just lived for that, and it just was no way to live. I just wasn't happy, and at first, you know, it affected your body, but then after that, I had so much tolerance, I was just doing it to survive. And so when I'm off probation, I know that that's a struggle for a lot of people, but I'm hoping that my past I will be reminded that I don't ever want to go back to that chaos and that pain that I had during that time. I've worked really hard to create a support system, and when I came back from my last treatment, I sat down with them and let them know my triggers and my signs and symptoms, so to speak, of what that looks like for me when I'm falling back into those patterns and behaviors that I used to have. Well, I didn't have a choice to be anonymous, and so it was a little easier for me, or harder, however you want to look at it. But I would say there is hope, and you just have to keep climbing out and reach out to people. That was my biggest issue that I didn't do, is I never reached out. I just thought I could handle it myself. And there's so many people and so many resources out there right now. Utilize those. You know, if you have a friend or a family member that you trust, go to them and don't suffer alone. There are choices, and there are options out there for you to get help.
My family gave me tough love, and I was separated from them. That was my rock bottom. I've heard about Live Right for many years, and I've always been encouraged to do a 3-quarter housing through probation officers and peers. I never thought it would be a good fit for me, but then again, I was never successful on probation. I came the day after jail, and since I've been here, I attribute me bridging that gap of the 6 months that I've been out here through Live Right. It is a recovering community. I do activities with people in recovery. We volunteer. We have our meetings together. We do art, we do music, we do yoga. All my stuff I can do in one realm, and it's structured. I'm accountable, and I've made friends. I've made a family here. And I have goals, and I'm meeting them, and my goal is probably to leave the recovery structure maybe 6 months to a year from now, when I'm financially independent. But I will always be a part of Live Right. I will always be here. I will always help to give back and help others. Come to our resource center. We'll get you a bed. We'll get you funding. We'll get you clothes. We'll help you get a job. We will set the stage for you until you can do it on your own. I was a person who was not able to recover. I am recovering today. I am recovering today because of this outfit, this organization, Live Right.
What's going on here at Live Right?
Well, we have multiple classes. We have 12-step programs. We have a new class that just started up, which is for eating disorders. So we're out there supporting that. We have trauma-informed yoga. We have regular yoga. We have an epigenetics class and holistic.
Now, what is epigenetics?
I knew you were going to ask me. I was trying to speed right by that one.
No, don't do that.
So it's more of a holistic healing and knowing more about your body and learning that way. We do that once a month on a Monday, the first Monday of every month. We also have the Dharma recovery. We do that 3 times a week here, as well as the LGBTQ, which is, a 12-step.
Yeah, so I saw a flyer for that.
Yes.
And so that is, so you make sure that it's friendly for those who are in that community to come and to be a part of a 12-step program.
Absolutely. It's not just doing a 12-step program anymore. It's learning how to live again, clean.
Right. Now, you also have a clothes closet, but it's like a department store down there.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us what is the passion behind that, and how does that play into the role of recovery?
Well, you have to have clothes to go out and get a job. You have to have clothes to live. And that plays into your recovery as you feel good about yourself, the self-esteem, coming in, not having anything. You can come to the pantry and get a free outfit. We have people that come more than once or twice, and we give vouchers to all the recovery community. We give some to Hope Not Handcuffed so that they can give to their people, and you can come here and shop. Most addicts haven't even seen a store other than what they go and rob from. So here you don't have to rob it. We'll let you come in and shop. And for the community as well. I mean, think about their children that is with grandma and grandpa that don't get no money supporting these kids. They're welcome to come here and shop and get clothing. And then we also have a food pantry. So for those families and for that person coming into recovery that's going to any of the recovery houses, they don't have food, they don't have clothes, they can come here and get those items.
Don't go anywhere. When we return, more from Live Rite Structured Recovery Corp and more real stories from real people.
So Brenda, we've been talking to many of the individuals who have gone through your program, and everyone has the same thing to say about this is a family, and that would make you the mom. And so, and we know mom know a lot about, about kids. Right. So can you give those who have gone through your program, those who are, maybe even contemplating coming in, can you just share with us how important it is to have this family atmosphere?
Well, in recovery, you usually lose your family. So having a family again, somebody that can relate to you and not freak out when you tell them, oh, I want to use, or I did this, I stole, or I was out on the street, and all those things. It's time now when you get here to, I'm very stern with it. It's like, okay, tough it up, let's get it together, and this is what we do next. It's about building up yourself, changing that behavior, making a change in your life. And how do you do that? Baby steps. Everything has to be done. You have to repair the wreckage of your past.
I was introduced at the age of 35 years old to crack, and then it led to heroin. I was dating a sheriff, and he was into heroin and introduced me to it. My bottom was when I went to jail, and I got connected with someone in the jail that was spiritually sound and introduced me to Jesus Christ. A couple different things keep me clean. I never want to be back to those deep, dark places that I was before, and I know it's God that sustains me.
We'd like to thank all of those who shared their stories here on the show and for their recovery, and we wish them the very best going forward. We also want you to know that we're praying for those who are still struggling and trying to get to the place of recovery. And so we're lifting you up, and we want you to know that whom the Son set free is truly free indeed. Recovery is possible. And so we here at Ask the Messengers believe that love is what love does, and we want to love you to life. See you next time on Ask the Messengers.
They said
if I got drunk,
if I did coke,
I'd be one of the guys.
they said meth would help me get through my exams.
They said sniffing glue was no big deal.
Totally safe.
I could party all night. They said heroin would be the best high I ever had.
It would help me forget my problems.
He said he'd love me forever if I smoked crack with him.
They said I wouldn't get hooked after the first hit.
They said that Ritalin would help me focus.
They said weed wouldn't lead to harder drugs.
They lied. They lied.
They lied.
He lied. Find out the truth about drugs.
Drugfreeworld.org.
Drugfreeworld.org.
Our prayers and our sympathy go out to those who have lost loved ones as a result of their battle with addictions. Though they may not be with us physically, their light will forever shine within the spirits and within those family members who have been left behind. Ask the Messengers, we offer these prayers up for you.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
A mere sorry never quite cut it. I wanted to show you how sorry I was, but just in case it might mean something to you, from the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry for each and every day I caused you pain, I caused you worry, and I caused you sadness. I'm sorry.